Not all of us can fully control our powers.
Then don't. You need to embrace them. We all do.
There aren't many women in X-Men that can outdo Mystique's popularity, but more than just popularity, actually it's the enigmatic character of Mystique that fascinates everyone. Rebecca Romijn's mysteriously cool Mystique had a sexy, badass air about her. You never knew what she would do next. Granted, she was on the dark side pretty much the whole time in the first 3 films, but she was one clever bat. Jennifer Lawrence, on the other hand, brought the much-needed equality and strong presence, but as Mystique, let's just say she's, adequate. Still, Mystique is one badass mutant regardless of whoever plays her, and she has countless awesome scenes, so I'm back with the 3rd volume. Anyway, like, share and subscribe to the channel as we go over more of her badass scenes.
Oh look, you have heterochromia too.
Sorry, what?
Look at her eye.
Not many people can get smart with Mystique and live to see the next day, but Charles just goes straight up and sister zones Mystique like it's no one's business. Charles approaches a girl at the bar, offers drinks and gets to talking. You know the drill. Anyway, the nerdy Charles can't help talk about the woman's eyes.
One green, one blue, it's a mutation.
Mystique doesn't like Charles's ignorance and plays a spoil sport by mimicking the girl's eyes. I guess Mystique always had a thing for Charles, but he never thought of her beyond a sister. The action may have stemmed from jealousy, but it does raise some good points regarding Charles's take on Mystique's power and the concept of beauty.
Would you date me?
Of course I would. Any young man would be lucky to have you. You're stunning.
Looking like this.
What?
Charles pays a heavy price for this dickish behavior though, doesn't he? Anyway, we'll give this to Mystique though. No one sister zones Jennifer Lawrence and gets away with it.
Mutant and proud.
In our next scene, Mystique's being Mystique for 1 minute straight. X-Men fans know what an important piece of device Cerebro is. Professor X detects, tracks, and traces all kinds of mutants through that one device. No one is invisible under it. If you want to be one up from Professor X, you have to do it right, by taking control of Cerebro. But that place is like a fortress, and who better than Mystique herself to casually walk into the X-Mansion in broad daylight and infiltrate it. The eloquent evilness of Mystique first persuades Rogue to leave the protection of Charles, and then pays a visit to the X-Chamber as Bobby.
You should go.
Cerebro is on the other side of the door, but Mystique has answers for that as well. She downright transforms into Charles Xavier, lets the sensor scan her, well, his eyes, and voila!
Welcome, Professor.
But what do you want?
Next up, Mystique seduces Wolverine. When she's not taking down businesses and governments with her shapeshifting, our girl likes to have a little fun. But Mystique knows she's not the prime candidate of Logan's fantasies, so she disguises herself as Jean. Logan has the hots for Jean and he doesn't mind smooching some, but as we know,
no one's ever left a scar quite like you.
What do you want, an apology?
things get from hot to awkward in no time. Mystique turns back into herself, weirdly hot. Storm? I can imagine that. But Rogue with Logan? Sweet home Alabama. Luckily, Mystique turns into Stryker later, but not while kissing Logan.
I want you to get out. Don't lecture me about war. This already is a war.
Senator Kelly never really liked mutants, and that made him a perfect plaything for Mystique. Not only Magneto forcefully turned him into a watered-down mutant, pun intended there, but Mystique also used his influence to extract information. So Stryker has Magneto locked up in a glass prison and no one knows where. Mystique shapeshifts into Senator Kelly and roams around the wings of the White House to extract some info, and she sure gets some.
Eric Lensher, you have access to him?
Magneto, yes.
An oblivious Stryker lets him know where he's kept Magneto and goes away feeling like a true hero. He may have been pretty badass at answering back to Senator Kelly, but we all know Mystique got what she came for. Mystique, the Sly Fox, wins again.
I prefer the real Raven. I said the real Raven.
How can we ignore the scene that gave us our favorite meme? I prefer the real Raven. perfection. But contrary to the memes, the scene is actually quite touching. Mystique all her life has fought her inner conflicts. The blue skin, the unique appearance, she's thought of herself both as a gift and a curse. Charles didn't help her either. It's only Eric who saw the beauty in Mystique's real identity, and it's kind of wholesome of him to make Mystique feel proud of what she is.
Perfection.
And Mystique being Mystique scores again by kissing Magneto. But the best thing for us fans was seeing Rebecca Romijn in all her real glory. The true Mystique made a fan favourite cameo, and we couldn't be happier. The courage that Eric shows helps Mystique finally stand up to Charles and his bullshit cosmetic problem mentality. Mutant and proud? Hell yeah.
But no matter how bad the world gets, you don't want to be against it, do you? You want to be a part of it. We are different, but we shouldn't be trying to fit into society. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Speaking of mutant and proud, we couldn't have been more proud of Mystique in this scene. So Hank finally creates the cure to stop their different appearances, something that both Hank and Mystique have been fighting their whole life. The cure just stops the physical appearance but keeps their power. Although Hank's feet are part of his power, so we're not sure how we thought the cure would work on him, but Mystique isn't one to conform and take society's orders to fit in.
Should we have to hide?
She knows it, and she makes sure Hank knows it as well. It's really painful to see how Hank and Charles constantly think Mystique is only worth loving in her human self and not her real blue self.
Hank, don't. You're beautiful, Hank. Everything you are perfect.
Thank God Mystique finally got over that phase.
Mutant and proud.
Then why not stay in disguise all the time? You know? Look like everyone else.
Because we shouldn't have to.
Mystique sure likes to give speeches, and since it's Mystique and not Charles Xavier, the speech is just one sentence and still it's cooler than most boring X-Men speeches. Nightcrawler comes up and disturbs Mystique when she's definitely planning her way through Logan. He's like those confused mutant teenagers that come to Professor X for advice. But unlike the Professor, Mystique doesn't tell others to control or suppress their powers or differences, but embrace them wholeheartedly.
They say you can imitate anybody. Even their voice. Even their voice.
As you can see, Nightcrawler's in the same boat as Mystique, and his different appearance has made his life pretty miserable. But, as Mystique has learned a long time back, staying in disguise is a choice, not a compulsion.
Maybe you saw what happened in Paris. You know what they think of us.
What do you think?
At number 3, we have Beast and Mystique's deleted scene. In our next stop to Mystique scores, we have Beast. Seriously, this woman has her way through men like no other. So the last time we saw Mystique and Beast in this video, Beast was a total jerk who straight up said,
Your natural blue form will never be deemed beautiful.
Oh, that's cold and ignorant, bruh. That's a mistake on Hank's part, and Mystique makes sure he gets that with an intimate scene, and both of them finally give in to their natural self. In that one moment, even though Beast was thinking with his Peter, he realized how beautiful the true Mystique is and how beautiful it is to embrace one's true identity. The Master Infiltrator strikes again, but this time as Bolivar Trask. When Tyrion Lannister's not demanding a trial by combat, he's getting ready to kill all of the mutants. And when he's not preparing for a big trip the next day, he comes back to his office to check his own classified files, but only as Mystique. Eric hated Charles for not doing anything against the brutal experiments that killed so many mutants. So Mystique disguises herself as Trask and sneaks in the office to take a look at his dirty work. The evilness of Trask even moves stone cold Mystique to tears. But it was most likely because of seeing a dead Azazel. As you know, they share quite a history. This scene bears testament to Mystique's amazing capabilities.
Dr. Trask?
1 second.
You have more family than you know. You never had the chance to save your family before. But you do now.
The pep talk season comes to an end with Mystique giving the peppiest talk to Magneto. So Eric is full on destructive god mode, dancing to the tunes of Apocalypse, but there comes Mystique to save the day with her speech. In later years we see Magneto and Mystique fighting together for mutants, doing all shady things against Charles and his academy, but there was a time when Mystique believed in the goodness of man, the importance of having family.
I know you think you've lost everything. but you haven't.
She convinces Eric that there's still enough left to fight for. Mutants can't live if there's not a world anymore, and he just can't give in to Apocalypse. She helps him to see the bigger picture, how the X-Men are still fighting against Apocalypse.
I'm gonna go fight for what I have left. Are you?
Even though she doesn't do her usual cool things here, she was pretty badass to change a hate-filled Magneto's mind all by herself. Oh, Quicksilver? He was just there, you know.
I'm here for my family too.
No biggie. Mystique is such a complex character in X-Men that you never know if it's okay to support her or not. She truly blurs the line between right and wrong and leaves us fascinated. But one thing about Mystique is that she's mutant and proud. Anyway, check out the Mystique playlist I've linked above that covers the first 2 volumes, and please like, share and subscribe to the channel for more X-Men content. I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.